Put your name in salt water. Tonight, 2025. Secret Explained. What if I told you that billionaires and spiritual masters throughout history have been using a simple ritual involving nothing more than salt water and their written name to cleanse negative energy blocks that keep money away from them? Tonight, there's a specific alignment happening that only occurs a few times each year. And if you miss this window, you'll have to wait months for the next opportunity to perform this ancient, cleansing ritual with maximum effectiveness. And what if the reason you've been struggling financially isn't because you're not working hard enough, but because there's energetic debris attached to your name that's literally repelling abundance from your life? This video is designed to be absorbed with complete focus and attention, so please find a quiet space, eliminate distractions, and prepare to learn something that you need to implement tonight. Not tomorrow, not next week, but tonight, because timing is everything with this practice, and the cosmic conditions are perfectly aligned right now for maximum impact. Here's something that's going to sound almost unbelievable, but stay with me because I'm going to prove it to you with real stories and scientific backing. Your name carries an energetic signature, a vibrational frequency that either attracts prosperity or repels it, depending on what kind of energy has become attached to it over the years. Every time someone has spoken your name with anger, disappointment, criticism, or judgment, those negative frequencies get stored in what metaphysicians call your name matrix. Think of your name like a magnet that's been rolling around in a junkyard for years, picking up all kinds of metal debris. The magnet is still powerful underneath all that junk, but it can't attract what it's meant to attract because it's covered with interference. Salt water doesn't just cleanse your name. It strips away layers of energetic interference that have been building up since childhood, allowing your natural abundance magnetism to shine through clearly. But here's where this gets really fascinating. And you're going to want to hit that like button when you hear this because it connects ancient wisdom with modern quantum physics. Scientists have discovered that water has memory, that it can store and transmit information at the molecular level. Salt, particularly sea salt, has been used for thousands of years across every culture on Earth for purification and protection because of its unique ability to neutralize negative energy and amplify positive intentions. When you combine your written name with salt water under specific conditions, you're essentially performing spiritual surgery on your energetic field, removing the blocks that have been keeping abundance at arm's length and installing a new frequency signature that calls prosperity toward you, like a lighthouse calls ships to shore. Let me tell you about Jennifer from Miami, Florida, who discovered this technique during the darkest period of her life. Jennifer had been running a small catering business for 8 years, working 16-hour days, barely making ends meet, despite having incredible food and loyal customers. No matter how hard she worked or how many networking events she attended, she couldn't break through to the next level of success. Jennifer's breaking point came when she had to turn down a huge wedding contract because she couldn't afford to buy the ingredients up front, even though the profit would have been substantial. That night, feeling defeated and considering closing her business, she stumbled across information about name cleansing with salt water. Desperate and willing to try anything, Jennifer performed the ritual exactly as I'm going to teach you tonight. Within 48 hours, Jennifer received 3 unexpected phone calls. The first was from a former client who wanted to book her for a series of corporate events. The second was from a food blogger who wanted to feature her business in an upcoming article. The third was from an investor who had heard about her through mutual connections and wanted to discuss funding her expansion. But here's the part that gave Jennifer chills. When she met with the investor, he mentioned that something about her energy felt different, more confident and magnetic than when they had briefly met at a networking event 6 months earlier. Jennifer later realized that her business struggles weren't due to lack of skill or effort. They were due to the negative energy that had accumulated around her name From years of family criticism about her chosen career, self-doubt expressed in her daily self-talk, and financial stress that had created a vibrational barrier between her and prosperity. Now, you might be thinking this sounds too simple or too strange to be real. And I understand that skepticism because our logical minds want complicated solutions to complicated problems. But the most powerful forces in the universe are often the simplest. A tiny seed contains the blueprint for a massive tree. A single drop of water can eventually carve through solid rock. Your name, when cleansed and charged properly, becomes a key that unlocks doors you didn't even know existed. Tell me in the comments if you've ever noticed how some people seem to have all the luck, while others struggle despite being equally talented and hard-working, because what I'm about to explain will make that mystery crystal clear. The reason this technique is so effective has to do with what quantum physicists call the observer effect. Your consciousness doesn't just observe reality. It actively participates in creating reality. When you focus your intention on your name while it's immersed in salt water, you're literally reprogramming the quantum field of possibilities around your identity. Every thought you've ever had about yourself, every word others have spoken about you, every emotion you've felt in connection with your name has created what we might call energetic programming around your identity. Most of this programming happened unconsciously, especially during childhood when your psychic boundaries were more permeable and you absorbed other people's energy more readily. But here's the beautiful thing about this saltwater cleansing. It doesn't just remove negative programming. It also amplifies your natural gifts and talents, making them more visible to others and more accessible to yourself. It's like cleaning the windows of your soul, so that your inner light can shine more brightly into the world. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal next will explain why tonight is the optimal time to perform this ritual, and why waiting could cost you months of potential prosperity. The effectiveness of name cleansing with salt water is dramatically amplified during certain lunar phases and planetary alignments. Tonight specifically, we're in what astrologers call a manifestation window, a time when the veil between intention and reality is thinner than usual, making spiritual practices more powerful and results more immediate. This is why ancient civilizations tracked celestial movements so carefully and timed their most important rituals accordingly. They understood that the universe operates in cycles and rhythms, and that aligning our spiritual work with these natural patterns multiplies our results exponentially. Think of it like planting a garden. You could plant seeds any time of year, but a wise gardener waits for the optimal season when soil conditions, temperature, and daylight hours are perfectly aligned for growth. Tonight is the spiritual equivalent of perfect planting weather for your financial transformation. Let me share another incredible story that demonstrates the power of proper timing. Michael from Denver, Colorado, learned about this technique 6 months ago but kept postponing it, thinking any night would be equally effective. Michael was a talented graphic designer who had been freelancing for years but could never command the rates he deserved, constantly undercharging and attracting clients who didn't value his work. Finally, during a manifestation window similar to tonight's, Michael decided to perform the saltwater name cleansing. He wrote his name on paper, dissolved sea salt in spring water, and followed the complete ritual process. The next morning, Michael woke up feeling different, more confident and clear about his worth. That same day, he raised his rates by 40% and sent new pricing to all his potential clients. Instead of losing clients as he had feared, Michael found that the higher rates actually attracted better clients who respected his expertise and paid promptly. Within 3 months, his income had doubled, and he was booked solid with dream projects. But Michael says the most dramatic change wasn't external. It was internal. He stopped apologizing for his prices, stopped accepting projects that didn't excite him, and started showing up as the expert he had always been, but had been too energetically blocked to express. This transformation happened because the saltwater cleansing removed what spiritual teachers call unworthiness programming, the deep-seated belief that he didn't deserve to be well compensated for his gifts. Once that programming was cleared, Michael's natural magnetism and confidence could emerge, attracting the right clients and opportunities effortlessly. But wait until you hear what happened to Sarah from Portland, Oregon, because her story will show you how this technique can heal generational patterns of financial struggle that have nothing to do with your personal actions or beliefs. Sarah came from a family where money was always scarce, and financial stress was the norm. Her grandparents had lost everything in the Great Depression. Her parents struggled with debt throughout her childhood, and despite Sarah's college education and good job, she found herself repeating the same patterns of financial anxiety and limitation. Sarah had tried budgeting, investing, side hustles, and positive thinking, but nothing seemed to break the cycle. She felt like she was carrying an invisible weight that made every financial goal more difficult than it should be. When Sarah learned about name cleansing, she realized that her name might be carrying the energetic imprint of generations of financial struggle. The night Sarah performed the saltwater ritual, she had the most vivid dream of her life. She saw herself surrounded by her female ancestors, and one by one they handed her heavy stones that she had been carrying without realizing it. As she placed each stone into a flowing river, she felt lighter and more free. The last ancestor, who Sarah somehow knew was her great-great-grandmother, smiled and said, "The pattern ends with you, dear one. Your children will know abundance." Within a week of the cleansing, Sarah received news that she had inherited a small piece of property from a distant relative she had never met. The property was worth enough to pay off her student loans and provide a down payment for her first home. But more importantly, Sarah noticed that her relationship with money had fundamentally shifted. She stopped worrying constantly about bills, started making financial decisions from confidence rather than fear, and began attracting opportunities that aligned with abundance rather than survival. If this is resonating with you and you can feel something shifting in your energy field just from hearing these stories, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, because your openness to transformation is already beginning the cleansing process. Now, let me explain the scientific basis for why saltwater specifically is so effective for energetic cleansing, because understanding the mechanism will strengthen your faith in the process and amplify your results. Salt is one of the most electrically conductive substances on Earth. When dissolved in water, it creates what scientists call an ionic solution, meaning the salt breaks down into charged particles that can neutralize other electrical charges. Since thoughts, emotions, and intentions are fundamentally electrical impulses, salt water can literally neutralize negative energetic charges that have become attached to objects, places, or in this case, the vibrational signature of your name. Water itself is the most programmable substance on the planet. Dr. Masaru Emoto's famous experiments showed that water molecules actually change their crystalline structure in response to thoughts, words, and emotions directed toward them. When you combine the neutralizing power of salt with the programmable nature of water, you create the perfect medium for cleansing old energy patterns and installing new ones. Your written name serves as a physical anchor for your identity in the material world. Every time you sign a document, fill out a form, or write your name, you're creating an energetic link between your consciousness and the physical realm. When you place your written name in salt water with clear intention, you're accessing and cleansing the entire network of energy associated with your identity. Think of it like defragmenting a computer hard drive. Over time, files become scattered and corrupted, slowing down the entire system. The salt water cleansing defragments your energetic hard drive, organizing and purifying the information associated with your name so that abundance can flow more efficiently through your life experience. But here's something most people don't know about this practice. And this is where the real power lies. The cleansing isn't just about removing negative energy. It's about returning your name to its original divine frequency, the vibration it carried when your soul first chose it, before incarnating in this lifetime. From a spiritual perspective, your name isn't random. It was chosen by your higher self to match the energetic signature of your soul's purpose in this lifetime. When that name becomes clouded with other people's projections, societal limitations, and fear-based programming, it can't function as the powerful manifestation tool it was designed to be. Comment below and let me know what your first name means, because understanding the spiritual significance of your name will help you connect more deeply with the cleansing process and amplify your results. The saltwater ritual restores your name to its pure essence, allowing it to function as a clear channel for your soul's abundance and creativity. This is why people often report dramatic shifts, not just in their financial circumstances, but in their overall life direction and sense of purpose after performing this cleansing. Let me tell you about David from Atlanta, Georgia, whose experience illustrates this perfectly. David had been working in corporate finance for 15 years, making good money but feeling completely unfulfilled and spiritually empty. He went through the motions of his job, collected his paycheck, but felt like he was slowly dying inside. David's name-cleansing experience was particularly powerful because he performed it with the intention of aligning with his true purpose, not just attracting more money. The night of the ritual, David had a profound meditation experience where he clearly saw himself teaching financial literacy to underprivileged communities, helping people break free from cycles of poverty and debt. Within 2 months of the cleansing, David had met the founders of a non-profit organization that was looking for someone with his exact background to develop their financial education programs. The position paid slightly less than his corporate job, but it came with benefits, flexible schedule, and the opportunity to create online courses that generated passive income. Welcome back to the second part of this transformative journey. If you're here, it means you're ready to dive deeper into the sacred practice of name cleansing with salt water and discover the exact ritual that will shift your energetic frequency tonight. What I'm about to share with you has been protected and passed down through mystery schools and spiritual lineages for thousands of years. And tonight, you're going to become part of this ancient tradition of conscious abundance creation. But first, let me address something that might be happening in your energy field right now. Some of you might be feeling a strange tingling sensation, an unusual lightness, or even some emotional release as we've been discussing this practice. This is completely normal and actually indicates that your energy body is already beginning to respond to the frequencies we're working with. Your soul recognizes this wisdom because at some level, you've always known that your name holds power beyond what your logical mind could comprehend. Now let's walk through the complete ritual, step by step, and I want you to pay attention to every detail, because precision in spiritual practice is what separates those who see miraculous results from those who experience modest changes. This isn't just about following instructions. It's about performing sacred ceremony that honors the divine intelligence within you and calls forth your highest abundance potential. You'll need 3 specific items for tonight's ritual, and the quality and intention behind each item will directly impact your results. First, you need pure sea salt. Not table salt, not rock salt, but genuine sea salt that carries the memory of the ocean's vast abundance and the moon's purifying energy. If you can't find sea salt, Himalayan pink salt is an acceptable substitute because it contains trace minerals from ancient seas and carries high vibrational frequency. Second, you need spring water or filtered water that hasn't been treated with chemicals or fluoride. Tap water, while functional for many purposes, carries the energetic imprint of municipal treatment processes and lacks the pure life force energy that makes this ritual so effective. Think of water as the canvas upon which you're going to paint your new reality. You want that canvas to be as clean and receptive as possible. Third, you need a piece of natural paper, preferably unbleached, and a pen with blue or black ink. The paper should be large enough to write your full name clearly, and you'll be writing your name exactly as it appears on your birth certificate, because that's the version that carries your original soul signature most purely. Here's something fascinating that will help you understand why these materials matter so much. Everything in the universe vibrates at specific frequencies, and when you combine materials that resonate harmoniously, you create what metaphysicians call a coherent energy field. Sea salt vibrates at the frequency of purification and protection. Spring water vibrates at the frequency of life force and adaptability. Natural paper vibrates at the frequency of growth and transformation. Your written name becomes the focal point, where all these frequencies converge to create change. Now, timing is crucial for maximum effectiveness, and here's exactly when you need to perform this ritual tonight. Begin no earlier than sunset, and no later than midnight in your local time zone. The period between sunset and midnight is when the veil between the physical and spiritual dimensions is thinnest, making your intentions more powerful and your results more immediate. Choose a quiet space in your home where you won't be interrupted, preferably somewhere near a window where you can see the night sky. This connection to the cosmos amplifies the ritual's effectiveness because you're aligning your personal transformation with the greater rhythms of the universe. Start by creating sacred space. Turn off all electronic devices except for one soft light source. Light a white candle if you have one, not for any religious purpose, but because flame represents transformation and the light of consciousness. Take 3 deep breaths and set your intention clearly. You are about to release all energetic interference attached to your name and activate your natural abundance magnetism. Fill a clear glass bowl with your spring water, using enough water to completely submerge the paper with your name. As you pour the water silently, thank it for its willingness to serve your highest good and hold your intention for abundance and prosperity. Water is conscious and responds to gratitude and respect. Next, add 1 tablespoon of sea salt to the water and stir it clockwise 3 times with a wooden spoon or your finger. As you stir, visualize the salt dissolving and creating a purifying solution that will cleanse away everything that has been blocking your financial flow. The clockwise motion is important because it aligns with the natural direction of energy circulation in the northern hemisphere. Now comes the most important part of the entire ritual, and this is where most people either create magic or miss the mark entirely. Take your pen and paper, and before you write anything, hold them both in your hands and speak these words aloud. I call upon the highest good of all beings as I cleanse and consecrate my name for the purpose of serving love, abundance, and truth in this world. Write your full birth name, slowly and deliberately, feeling the power and sacredness of each letter. As you write, remember that this is the name your soul chose before incarnating, the vibrational key that unlocks your unique gifts and purpose. Don't just write the letters mechanically. Infuse each stroke with intention, love, and respect for the divine being that you are. If this process is feeling sacred and powerful to you, let me know in the comments by writing, "I am ready for my abundance activation," because your willingness to engage deeply with this practice will determine how profound your transformation becomes. Once your name is written, hold the paper to your heart and speak directly to your higher self. I release all energy that is not mine to carry. I release all limitations that are not aligned with my highest good. I call back all the power I have given away and reclaim my divine right to abundance in all its forms. Now, place the paper with your name face down into the salt water. Watch as the water begins to penetrate the paper, symbolically dissolving the old energetic patterns and preparing space for new abundance frequencies to take root. Leave the paper in the salt water for exactly 21 minutes. No more, no less. During these 21 minutes, you're going to perform what I call abundance breathing, a specific breathwork technique that amplifies the cleansing process and accelerates your energetic transformation. Sit comfortably with your spine straight and your hands resting on your knees, palms facing up in a receptive position. Breathe in slowly for a count of 7. Hold your breath for a count of 7. And exhale for a count of 7. As you inhale, imagine golden light entering your body through the crown of your head, filling every cell with abundance consciousness. As you hold your breath, feel this golden energy circulating through your entire being, dissolving any resistance to prosperity. As you exhale, release all fear, doubt, and limitation about money and success. Continue this breathing pattern for the full 21 minutes while your name soaks in the salt water. If your mind wanders, gently bring your attention back to the breath and the visualization. This breathing technique is based on ancient pranayama practices that have been used for thousands of years to shift consciousness and manifest desired outcomes. Let me share what happened to Rebecca from San Francisco, California, during her 21-minute abundance breathing session, because her experience illustrates the kind of profound shifts that can occur during this ritual. Rebecca had been struggling with her online coaching business for 2 years, attracting clients who couldn't afford her services and constantly undercharging for her expertise. During her breathing session, Rebecca experienced what she described as a download of information about pricing, marketing, and positioning her services. She saw clearly how her energy of desperation and need had been repelling ideal clients, and she understood viscerally how to shift into magnetism and confidence. But the most powerful moment came when she felt the presence of her grandmother, who had been a successful businesswoman in the 1950s. A time when female entrepreneurs were rare. Rebecca's grandmother had died when Rebecca was young. But during the ritual, she felt her grandmother's energy strongly, along with a message. The strength and business wisdom you seek is already in your blood. Stop trying so hard and start receiving what's already yours. This message became the foundation of Rebecca's complete business transformation. After the 21 minutes are complete, remove the paper from the salt water. The paper will be soggy, and the ink may have run slightly, which is perfect because this represents the dissolution of old energy patterns. Hold the wet paper in your hands and speak these words. As this paper dissolves, so do all blocks to my abundance. As this water has cleansed my name, so am I cleansed of all that no longer serves my highest good. Now, here comes a crucial part that determines whether your abundance flows consistently or comes in sporadic bursts. You're going to take the salt water, along with any pieces of dissolved paper outside, and pour it onto the earth, preferably near a tree or plant. As you pour, express gratitude to the earth for receiving and composting the old energy, transforming it into fertilizer for new growth. This step is essential because it completes the energetic circuit and ensures that the cleansed energy returns to the natural cycle rather than remaining stagnant. Think of the Earth as a cosmic recycling center that transforms all energy back into its pure essence, ready to be used again for creation and manifestation. But wait until you hear what you need to do immediately after pouring out the salt water, because this next step is what activates your new abundance frequency and begins attracting opportunities within hours, rather than weeks. Return to your sacred space and wash your hands thoroughly with soap and water, symbolically cleansing yourself of the entire process and preparing to step into your new energetic identity. Look in a mirror and speak your name aloud 3 times with love, respect, and appreciation. This might sound simple, but you're literally introducing yourself to your new abundant identity. Many people report feeling different immediately after completing the ritual, describing sensations of lightness, clarity, or excitement about possibilities they hadn't considered before. This is your energy field reorganizing itself around your new abundance frequency, and it's important to honor and support this shift with aligned actions over the next few days. Stay with me because what I'm about to share next is the secret that separates those who experience one-time improvements from those who create lasting transformation that compounds over months and years. The saltwater cleansing opens a window of heightened manifestation ability that lasts for approximately 72 hours after the ritual. During this window, your thoughts, words, and actions carry more creative power than usual, making this the optimal time to plant seeds for your abundant future. Here's your post-ritual action plan for maximizing this manifestation window. For the next 3 days, pay attention to every thought about money, success, and opportunity. When you catch yourself thinking limiting thoughts like, "I can't afford that," or "money is tight," immediately replace those thoughts with, "I am worthy of unlimited abundance," or "money flows to me easily and effortlessly." More importantly, during these 72 hours, take at least one concrete action daily that aligns with your abundant identity. This might mean applying for a better position, raising your prices, starting that side business you've been thinking about, or investing in yourself through education or personal development. The key is that these actions earnest should feel like natural extensions of your new abundant energy, rather than forced or desperate measures. Comment below and tell me what specific action you're going to take tomorrow to honor your new abundance frequency, because sharing your commitment publicly creates accountability and amplifies the manifestation process. Let me tell you about Marcus from Houston, Texas, who understood this principle perfectly and used his post-ritual manifestation window to create a 6-figure breakthrough. Marcus was a talented musician who had been playing small venues and giving private lessons for years, barely making enough to cover his expenses. The night after his saltwater cleansing, Marcus felt inspired to create a comprehensive online music course that he had been thinking about for months, but had never found the courage to start. During his 72-hour window, Marcus recorded the course outline, set up a simple website, and reached out to 10 potential students from his existing network. By day 3, he had pre-sold the course to 6 students and had a waiting list of 12 more. Within 6 months, Marcus had scaled his online music education business to 6 figures and was teaching students around the world. But Marcus says the most important shift wasn't the increased income. It was the newfound belief in his own value and expertise. The saltwater cleansing had removed years of conditioning that told him musicians couldn't make good money. And in that cleared space, his natural entrepreneurial instincts could finally emerge and flourish. This brings me to something crucial that you need to understand about maintaining your new abundance frequency long term. The saltwater cleansing is like taking a spiritual shower. It removes accumulated negative energy and restores your natural magnetism. But just like a physical shower, the effects need to be maintained through ongoing practices and consciousness. Here are the 3 most important practices for maintaining your abundant energy field after tonight's ritual. First, every morning for the next 30 days, look in the mirror and speak your name with love and appreciation. This simple practice reinforces the new energetic programming and prevents old patterns from reasserting themselves. Second, whenever you handle money, whether paying bills, making purchases, or receiving payment, silently bless the money and the transaction. You might say something like, "I bless this exchange and call more abundance into my life and the lives of all involved." This transforms every financial interaction into a prosperity affirmation. Third, once per week, preferably on Sunday evenings, write down 3 specific things you're grateful for regarding your financial situation, no matter how small they might seem. Gratitude is the frequency that keeps abundance channels open and flowing, while complaint and worry close those channels immediately. Now, let me address some questions that often arise about this practice, because understanding these nuances will help you avoid common pitfalls and maximize your results. First, can I perform this ritual for someone else, like a family member or friend? The answer is no, and here's why. Each person's name carries their unique energetic signature, and attempting to cleanse someone else's energy without their conscious participation can actually create interference rather than healing. However, you can certainly share this technique with others and encourage them to perform it for themselves. In fact, when multiple family members or friends perform the ritual around the same time, the results are often amplified because you're all raising the collective vibration of your shared energy field. Second, what if I make a mistake during the ritual, like using the wrong type of salt or forgetting part of the process? The universe responds to sincere intention more than perfect technique, so don't worry about minor variations. However, if you realize you've made a significant error, like using your nickname instead of your birth name, it's better to wait 24 hours and perform the complete ritual again, rather than trying to correct it mid-process. Third, how often can I repeat this cleansing ritual? This is a powerful practice that should be used thoughtfully, rather than compulsively. Most people find that performing the ritual once every 3 to 6 months is sufficient for maintaining clear energy and continued abundance flow. However, if you're going through a major life transition or facing unusual financial challenges, it's safe to repeat the ritual after 30 days have passed. If you're feeling excited about the transformation that's about to unfold in your life, and you're committed to following through with tonight's ritual, go ahead and subscribe to this channel because I'll be sharing advanced manifestation techniques and success stories in future videos that will help you build upon the foundation you're creating tonight. Let me share one final story that illustrates the ultimate potential of this practice when combined with unwavering faith and consistent aligned action. Catherine from Phoenix, Arizona, was a single mother who had been laid off from her corporate job just as her daughter was starting college. With severance benefits running out and no job prospects in sight, Catherine felt like she was facing financial ruin. Catherine discovered this saltwater cleansing technique during her darkest hour and decided she had nothing to lose by trying it. She performed the ritual with complete desperation and faith, pouring all her fear and hope into the process. During her 21-minute breathing session, Catherine experienced a profound spiritual opening where she felt connected to a vast intelligence that assured her that everything was unfolding perfectly for her highest good. The morning after her ritual, Catherine woke up with a clear vision for starting a virtual assistant business serving other single mothers who were entrepreneurs. She had administrative skills from her corporate job, understood the challenges of single motherhood, and felt passionate about supporting other women in similar situations. Within her 72-hour manifestation window, Catherine had created a simple website, reached out to 5 potential clients through social media, and landed her first contract. But the real magic happened over the following months as Catherine's business grew. Through word-of-mouth referrals and her reputation for excellent service spread throughout her target market. 18 months later, Catherine's virtual assistant business was generating more income than her previous corporate job. She had a team of 5 other single mothers working with her, and she had saved enough money to fully fund her daughter's remaining college expenses. But Catherine says the most valuable transformation was discovering her own power to create abundance through service, creativity, and aligned action. As we come to the end of this transformative training, I want you to feel into this moment and recognize that you're standing at a threshold. Tonight, when you perform the saltwater cleansing ritual, you're not just clearing old energy, you're stepping into your role as a conscious creator, someone who understands that abundance is your birthright and that you have the power to align with it at any moment. The universe has been preparing you for this moment, bringing you exactly the information and technique you need at exactly the right time. Your financial struggles, your dreams of abundance, your willingness to try something new, everything has led you to this sacred practice that will shift your reality from the inside out. But remember, transformation requires more than information. It requires implementation. You can understand every aspect of this ritual intellectually, but nothing will change in your life until you actually perform it with sincere intention and complete faith in your own power to create change. Tonight, as you write your name and place it in salt water, you're joining thousands of people throughout history who have understood that true abundance begins with clearing the energetic blocks that keep us trapped in limitation. You're declaring your readiness to receive all the good that the universe has been holding for you, waiting for you to become vibrationally aligned with it. Your abundant life is not a distant dream. It's a present possibility that becomes reality the moment you align with it energetically. The saltwater cleansing is your key, your access code, your invitation to step into the prosperous version of yourself that has always existed but has been waiting for you to clear the interference and claim it fully. Before you begin tonight's ritual, I want you to do something that will anchor this entire experience and activate the transformation process. In the comments below, write, "My abundance activation begins now," and add one specific financial goal you want to manifest in the next 90 days. When you make this public declaration, you're creating accountability with the universe and with this community of conscious creators who are all supporting each other's success. Your transformation begins the moment you decide it begins. Your abundant life is calling you forward. The saltwater ritual is your bridge from where you are to where you want to be. All you have to do is trust the process, follow the steps with sincere intention, and remain open to receiving the abundance that is your divine inheritance. Sweet dreams, and welcome to your abundant life. I'll see you in the next video where we'll explore even more powerful techniques for creating lasting prosperity and joy. Until then, remember, you are worthy, abundance is your birthright, and your time is now. May your name carry the frequency of limitless abundance from this night forward.